Roger Douglas. Order.
Mr.
5-minute
Speaker,
call.
the fact is that within the ACT party, within the ACT caucus, we have a democratic process in terms of electing our leaders and deputy leaders. Well, I'll get to the Labor Party in a moment.
Yeah, they laugh.
The fact is that we have, and by a vote, 3-2, we had a change of deputy leader this week. The fact is that, like in every other vote that I've ever seen within the Labor Party or anywhere else, Heather is, as a result of that vote, I guess somewhat bruised, but I've seen a lot of people who have been replaced bruised in that way. But I've been and talked to Heather today, and I know that she also accepts the result. She's looking forward to coming back to Parliament and sitting on the Education Committee, taking my place, I might add. She wants to also look after the health vote, and which I am responsible for, and I think we've been talking about her taking over her old bill, the Voluntary Student Union Bill. In other words, she's ready to get on with the job. Naturally, she's hurt about what occurred. You wouldn't be human not to. But unlike the Labor Party, the ACT Party does have a democratic process. The Labor Party used to have a democratic process in the 70s and 80s, and I can remember a number of votes there, and Trevor Mallard actually mentioned one, a vote, I think, for the deputy leadership between Bob Tizard and David Longy. But at that time, it was a democratic process. At that time, when the election of Cabinet, there was always a democratic vote. And generally speaking, you would see 13, 14 or 15 people getting through on the first ballot, and then you would often see up to another 20 ballots before we finally got to 20 votes or 20 people in the Cabinet. But of course, that changed recently. The Labor Party don't have a democratic process anymore. What we have is a situation where Helen Clark changed all that. She was for a democratic process if she got in the 80s. Not so happy when she didn't. But she had an arrangement was she'd sit down with Michael Cullen, they'd prepare a list of 20 people, then they'd go and touch the 20 on the shoulder and say, "We've decided that you should be in Cabinet, John. But you can only be in Cabinet if you're prepared to vote for the other 19 people or 18 people that we decide." So we had this sort of situation under Helen where she tapped 18 people on the shoulder, said, "You're in Cabinet, but only if you vote for the other 18. And then, that wasn't necessarily a majority. So then what they did, they selected 6 or 7 people who are going to be associate ministers, and they did the same job on them. We're sorry you didn't get into Cabinet. You're not on the list to get into Cabinet, Mr. Speaker, but you'd be pleased to know you're associate. But you can only be an associate minister if you vote for these 20 people in the Cabinet. Now that's the democratic process of the new Labor Party. And there is, in fact, no transparency whatsoever. And I think the only person who stood up, am I wrong, am I? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that is the democracy that now goes on within the Labor Party.